Hi, it's Amy from Cakes with Faces. Now, cherry blossom season is the most popular time to visit Japan because everyone wants to see the beautiful pink sakura. So today I've got the best places to see them, ways you can avoid the crowds, special snacks and merchandise, and everything you need to know. So cherry blossom season is at the end of March and start of April. The time varies slightly each year depending on the weather, and they don't last very long. You've got the time they start blooming, when the first petals open, to when they reach full bloom and look their best, and then they start to fall, carpeting the ground in pink with petals floating through the air. How long they last really depends on the weather. If it's windy or if there's heavy rain, that does make the petals fall off quicker, but if it's calmer weather, they can hang on that little bit longer. Usually they last about 2 weeks, so if you have a trip booked in the last week of March, that's usually the safest bet to see them. Every year, the Japan Meteorological Corporation publishes a forecast for when the first blossoms will open and when they'll reach full bloom. They don't just do the weather, they do cherry blossoms as well. There's a link to their site in the description. It's so useful. There's a flowering meter that tells you the progress of the blossoms in each region. There's even information about the most popular viewing spots in each city, so various parks and gardens. On the map, there's icons that tell you whether they've reached their peak yet or whether they're past their best, so you can check before you go. This year, the forecast says they'll either be at the average time or a few days early because of the warmer weather. Each place around Japan has its top spots to see cherry blossoms. In Tokyo, there's Ueno Park, which has 800 cherry blossom trees, Shinjuku Park, Inokashira Park near the Studio Ghibli Museum, Nakameguro is very popular, Yoyogi Park is full of picnics and parties, Koishikawa Korakuen Garden, and so many more. If you've been to Japan during cherry blossom season, please share your experiences in the comments. Tell us where you saw them and what it was like. Because Japan's such a long country, in the springtime the south warms up earlier than places like Tohoku and Hokkaido, so the cherry blossoms move like a wave across the country from south and west to north and east. So if it turns out you're too early or late to see the cherry blossoms, you might be able to go on a day trip or travel north or south to see them. Or if you go into the mountains or somewhere at higher elevation, it's cooler, so they bloom slightly later. You can get quite far on the bullet train in a short space of time, so you might be able to go on a day trip to somewhere close to a Shinkansen station to see them. There are also early and late blooming varieties, so if you're going before or after the main viewing season, I'd recommend searching for early or late blooming cherry blossoms and then your location to find the best spots. For example, you can see late blooming trees in Tokyo in mid-April at the Imperial Palace Gardens, Asukiyama Park, which has 180 trees, Shinjuku Park, Hamarikyu Gardens in Shiodome, and Ueno Park, which is a go-to place for cherry blossoms of all kinds. I saw so many cherry blossoms in Osaka in mid-April at the Mint, which is after the main season, but they only open the grounds to the public for 1 week per year for cherry blossom viewing. I felt so lucky to be there just at the right time. There was a path that was 500 meters long with cherry blossoms on both sides, and there was also a 500-meter long double row of food stalls, which was amazing. There's a video about it on my channel. And there are of course other seasonal flowers. After the sakura, you've got wisteria, then moss phlox, which coats the ground in pink, and then hydrangeas, and they're all beautiful in their own way. My mini guide to Kawaii Tokyo has a list of seasonal flowers throughout the year and where you can see them near Tokyo. You can get it from cakeswithfaces.co.uk along with my main 300-page guidebook, and that's with worldwide shipping. One thing you do need to be prepared for is it will be busy. It's the most popular time of year to visit Japan. Locals want to see them too, everyone's excited for cherry blossom season, and the last 2 weeks of March are also like spring break in Japan, so on top of all that, it's the holidays. But if you want to see the sakura, that is just part of what comes with it. So you need to set your expectations so you're not disappointed. Because it's busier, you might want to book more things in advance than you would at other times of year. Things like Shibuya Sky, Team Labs, and theme park tickets, and Shinkansen tickets or seat reservations, especially if you want to get those seats with extra space for your suitcases. There's all the details about that in my video about traveling with luggage. You might want to build a few more relaxing things into your plans. Visit a few more chilled, quieter places to give you a break from the top tourist spots that will be crowded. Because locals want to see the cherry blossoms too, it's best to visit the most popular spots on a weekday if you can, because the weekends will be more crowded. However, at cherry blossom festivals, as with all festivals in Japan, I've found that if it's busy, that's part of the experience. Everyone's so excited to see the cherry blossoms, everyone's taking pictures, and that feeling I've found is as much a part of the experience as seeing the flowers themselves. And it is a generalization, but in Japan, people are generally more polite and more considerate of others. So when it is busy and crowded, it's different from being somewhere like London, for example, where people can be pushing and be quite rude. Wherever you're going in Japan, it can be worth looking up off the beaten track places to see the cherry blossoms. They might not be as spectacular or iconic as the famous places. They might not have as many trees, but they can offer a calmer experience. In Tokyo, Asukuyama Park has 800 trees. There's the cemetery in Yanaka. Just be respectful, obviously there's no picnics or drinking there. Kasai Rinkai Park on the way to Tokyo Disney. Sotobori Park has trees along the river. And Hibiya Park, which is quite near Tokyo Station and the Imperial Palace. And there are so many more. There's some really great lists if you look them up. The traditional way to enjoy cherry blossoms is Hanami, which means cherry blossom viewing. It's traditional to have a picnic underneath the clouds of pink. Some parks are completely full at this time of year. There's also cherry blossom festivals with pink lanterns and food stalls, and lots of drinking in the evening at Hanami parties. At night time, some cherry blossom spots are lit up with illuminations, so you can enjoy them during the daytime and in the evening. They look so magical, glowing in the dark. Some spots for illuminations in Tokyo are the moat of the Imperial Palace, the Meguro River in Nakameguro, where the lanterns are reflected in the river, Rikugien Garden, where there are weeping cherry blossom trees, Tokyo Midtown along the aptly named Sakuradori Street, and Sumida Park by the river, where you also get a lovely view of the sky tree. But there are so many more, and not just in Tokyo. It's worth looking up cherry blossom illuminations wherever you're going to be. This year, for the first time, there's a special cherry blossom viewing train run by Seibu Railways. It's called the 52 Seats of Bliss Cherry Blossom Train. It runs between Shinjuku and Ikebukuro. It goes past several cherry blossom viewing spots, and the train slows down so you can enjoy the view. They also serve sakura cake and special drinks. I expect by this point it's probably booked up because it's new and these things are always popular. But there is also the Sakura tram in Tokyo. It runs all year round and goes past several cherry blossom spots, including the Kanda River and Asukuyama Park. You can get a day pass for only 400 yen or just use your Suica card, so you could make your own hop-on hop-off tour. Now, Japan loves limited edition seasonal things, so there are lots of pink sakura flavoured snacks. From traditional sweets like Hanami Dango, Sakura Mochi and pink taiyaki to limited edition convenience store snacks. There's special donuts, pink burgers, special pink Asahi beer cans. I've even had special Sakura crepes in Harajuku. Basically, everything is available in a special pink version for cherry blossom season. Sakura flavour is a bit like cherry flavour, but it's lighter and more fragrant, a bit more floral. I really wanted to include some examples of what's available this year, but as I'm filming this, they haven't been announced yet. They're keeping them secret till last minute. So keep a lookout and make the most of all those special limited edition treats. Keep a lookout for special merchandise as well. It's not just food that gets special editions. For example, there'll be Sakura plushies, souvenirs, Hello Kitty, and here's this year's Sakura Miku. Some temples and shrines have special seasonal goshuin, which are stamps that you collect with calligraphy. During cherry blossom season, some have special papers that are printed with cherry blossoms. They're really beautiful and they'd make a really special souvenir. So I hope you catch the cherry blossoms and get lots of pictures and enjoy all the pink snacks. And share your tips for cherry blossom spots in the comments, especially if you found any secret places. Tell us all about them. And I'll see you next Thursday with more Japan videos. Bye bye.